What's going on, guys? This is Shady of Lightning back with Digimon Adventure Tri, and in this little mini-series I got here, I'm going to be reviewing our future, but I'm going to give the positives and negatives in two-part videos, and joining with me right now is...
Hello and welcome to DImzy's Domain. And yes, just to reiterate what Shady said, before you comment, before you like, before you dislike, this video is going to be exclusively focusing on just the positives, and there's going to be another video which is going to just focus on the negatives. So before you get the pitchforks out, just have a little listen.
Yeah.
So mate, take it away.
Well, for starters, for the positives in this movie, there's very... I can't lie, guys. There's few positives, but I'm going to put it on in this video. Firstly, Tai. I've been criticizing Tai from day one, from the first film to this film right now. I've been criticizing him, but finally we see the prominence of Tai. He finally made his triumphant Captain America gogglehead return, and I think it's a long time waiting, but thank goodness we finally saw the prominence of his character.
And it was extremely effective because just the way it worked, because he built up to it throughout the movies, yes, but in this movie exclusively, and specifically within, I believe, the second or the third episode, where he was spending time with Nishijima, where Nishijima was speaking about his regret, how he was, and this is another positive, Nishijima. He was speaking about his...
I'm going to get to that after.
Yeah, he was speaking about his regret about Meiko, about Maki, and then Tai related that to Meiko, saying that when Meiko said, just kill her, and it really struck a chord with him, and then he followed up with that, and he showed this very steely leadership quality, and he has an effect on his peers and his sister, but we will be focusing on that properly because it's a massive point a little later on.
Yeah. The second, I would have to say Matt. Matt, leading up to Tai, before Tai made his grand entrance, Matt was the one taking in charge. Matt was the pseudo gogglehead, in this film.
He had the gogglehead for
he had the gogglehead
for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and it was just great. Before in season 1, we have seen him take charge. Like there were episodes where Tai went back to the real world when they defeated Etaman, and Matt was the one in charge, but he wasn't really elite. Everyone just went their separate ways, even though Matt was the pseudo leader. So in this episode, in this movie, we saw Matt taking charge, and not everyone is going there and there. He was the one being fully in control, and I think that's a major development in his character, because in turn he really is a shy character. He's not very what's the word, man?
He's not so expressive. He's not as expressive as Tai.
As a Tai, yeah.
It's very simple. I'm gonna make some parallels to other anime. You might hate him, you might like him. When you see a Naruto's very much the loudmouth one, and Matt is Sasuke. He's the cool guy. You look at Beyblade,
Kai and
Tyson. Tai is the loudmouth.
Tyson's the loudmouth.
Tyson is the loudmouth, which is Tai, who's very vocal, and Kai is a very cool guy, and he's never going to be pushed around.
Yeah.
It's very similar. This dichotomy between Matt and Tai is present. It's a generic and a very cliche shonen trope, but they do it so well.
Yeah.
So well in Digimon.
Yeah, I think they do it so well because, the characters themselves, we see their hobbies, we see their likes and dislikes. That's why we love the characters more, even though it's really cliche. But the third point I want to make is the deaths in this movie.
Yeah.
The deaths. Nishijima dying, regardless whether you think, did you really feel sad for Nishijima? It was still sad seeing him die. We saw, even though we didn't see him suffer.
Mate, Nishijima had their backs from day one.
Yeah.
He's always had their backs, and we had this... We liked him. I never felt a bit suspicious about him at all. I think that he was always a good character, and
he was a good guy.
He's one of the good guys, and it's like, have you seen real life or other movies? The good guys always get it.
Yeah,
they always get it.
But this one of the few times where the good guy does die.
One thing I have to say, before I go to the main meaty stuff, which I no, which you still disagree on. But talking about the rest of the cast, the other Digidestin, be it Izzy, be it Mimi, be it Joe, they had a very small yet presence there. I want to focus on Izzy. Izzy has been a godsend in the movies, but even
he's been the MVP. He's the Android 17 of Digimon.
But especially in this movie, I think that he's always just working, and it's just all the characters are so, the character traits of each of the Digidestin are so prevalent, and it's extra prevalent in this movie since that each of the other movies before that focus on a pair, and now we finish all those little mini arcs, and the character of each of these Digidestin are so present, and the Digimon itself, their characters always been the same. I have to say, when they got their memories back, that was a goosebump-inducing scene. I think it was fantastic when Agumon said, Tai, I remember you. Yeah. And it's just the way it was done. And to brush this with a very broad stroke, animation and art,
the animation was, I think,
simple as
was at its best. Even more than the action, I would say.
Yeah,
the animation in this particular scene,
it's just top notch. In general, of course, it's a movie, they're gonna go all out, but it's been very, very nice to watch aesthetically and also from a design perspective. I think that Digimon Tri has that really, really good repertoire in terms of how good its animation art has been throughout the movies. Although the story people can criticize, art and animation has been good. What do you reckon about the key Digidestin? Let's just say Kari, let's say TK. What do you reckon about them?
What, as in the positives in this movie?
Of course.
The positives in this movie. Well, to be fair, there was that one comment that dude made in the which, the final movie review.
The final review.
He said, what was it?
So pretty much he said how, hey, regarding, because we made a little comment, because remember, when we do our reviews, it's like a reaction style review as well.
Yeah.
We watch it twice and then we do it. But then he said, listen guys, Kari is flip-flopping from, hey, I'm never going to forgive you, but that's the reason why I'm going to stand by you, which we kind of ridicule, like, what are you talking about, woman? He said, well, the person said, listen, that shows how strong Tai is. It's that she will carry his sin. Even though she doesn't agree with him, she will carry his sin. And I can understand that and I can agree with that. And you know what it is? That is the epitome of the crest of light. You take the darkness and you cleanse it and you make it light again. You take in darkness and then you purify. That's her role.
Which we have seen before, when she took in Gatomon. She purified Gatomon out of Myotismon's darkness. So yeah.
But the scene that was the reason for her speech was Tai saying he's pretty much made the decision that he's going to kill Mekomon. What a strong decision that was, and that was for me that made me mark out. I was popping and I was like, oh wow,
wrestling terms.
But I loved it. I love the fact that Tai was back to his best, and he's back to his clinical best. He knows what's good. He knows what's best for business. He knows in terms of what needs to be done, and him and Matt are finally on the same page, and they're not only on the same page, they're on a very holy
they're not
page.
Fighting. They're not fighting for once. All throughout the entire films.
No bickering, and we saw Omniman merciful mode, or as we like to say,
holy mode. We prefer the name
holy mode. It just
sounds better. Merciful mode, whatever it's called. I'm sorry, holy mode is better.
Nah, but the merciful mode is actually a little bit more correct, since of the fact that they're showing the ultimate mercy to Mekomon, because this is the mercy by just putting it out of the misery.
But speaking of Mekomon, the other positive I wanted to say, Mekomon's death.
Oof.
Oh, dude, that Mekomon's death was just, I would say it's the best death in Digimon, maybe.
Ooh, that is. What about Leomon?
Well, screw Leomon. He dies every day. Like, dude, Mekomon's death, because at the end of the day, she was like an innocent little baby. Like, she had all that, like,
she was caught up in the crossfire of something that she really shouldn't have been. And it really tugged at your heartstrings. Honestly, this movie done well to tug at your heartstrings.
It did.
You had the death of Nishijima, you had the death of Mekomon, you had the you could see
The memories coming back.
The
to
memories come
everyone.
back. You could see pretty much the Digidestin were mourning. As in, this was even the previous movie, but they're mourning. But when it came back to them, it's like
I hate Mako. I can't stand Mako.
I like Mako.
You like Mako, but even I feel for Mako when she lost her partner Digimon. It was really reminiscent of when Oikawa in season 2. I can't remember the name of the Digimon, but he couldn't reach his partner Digimon after like 30, 40 years just searching for this Digimon, but he couldn't. But it was so reminiscent of that.
I think that it's very, very good, and also, and this is a veiled positive, so it's not really a positive, but I guess we saw the O2 cast.
It's not really a positive. I wouldn't put it as a positive.
Yeah, but listen. We saw the mention of 2 juggernauts. We saw the mention of 2 fantastically salivating, inducing Digimon. That is Daemon and Diaboromon.
Yeah, I can't wait. We've all seen the film Our War Game. Diaboromon was just a beast. He was running around all over the internet. He was going to America. He was going to Japan. He was going everywhere, man, wrecking havoc. He launched 2 missiles. He was about to end the world.
The catalyst to this dialogue has to be the entity that is portraying the dark version of Jedi as well as the Emperor. He was an MVP, my friend. He was with Sanji from One Piece's voice. Yeah, this guy he was
just a match made in heaven.
He ran rampant with his expressions, with his voices. He was unhinged. He was insane. He was fantastic.
He was fun. This series needed because the tone of this series, for me personally, was a lot more heavy. I don't feel like, apart from the second movie where it was really like light-hearted and jokey, but the overall tone in the film, because of the characters kept on bickering with each other, it felt like it was more adult, more darker. So I think with the villain, with Evil Jedi being so comedic and laughing all over the place, I think it really needed that character.
It does give you a little callback to when we saw Puppetman with TK.
Yeah.
It's just like, you remember how Puppetman wanted to always play with TK, and even TK, who was a kid at that time, was like, hey, grow up, man. He was more mature than Puppetman.
If anything, it reminds me more of Eterman. Because Eterman was jokes. I know a lot of people aren't much fans of Eterman, but I'm sorry, like Eterman, for me, with the Elvis Presley, impersonation. Dude, like that, it was so different from Devimon. Because Devimon, he was just another cliche character. Eterman wasn't.
Eterman was so underappreciated, but it's only later when I look at it now how essential, how significant he was, and vital for the viewers to really enjoy Digimon Adventure as a whole. He was this glue, this connecting bridge. But regarding Dark Jedi, he was everywhere. But the one, once again,
and he was evil as well.
Yeah, he was
evil.
He killed Digimon, man. So one of the things I want to say,
which makes him a great villain.
Yeah, one of the things I want to say, which I am struggling to fully justify as a positive, is that we have so many open-ended questions and things that need to be answered, and that gives opportunity to be answered later on. And remember, there was a tweet on the previous video which I covered, and Shady gave us many ideas about what potentially could be a Digimon Tri 2 sequel and what it could pertain. But there's a lot of questions and a lot of content that needs to be answered and addressed, and that really is exciting. It's a very positive ending, since the viewer knows that, hey, there probably is going to be something that's going to follow. Only problem is, when is it coming, and that how soon can you give it to us? Another positive about this movie exclusively, I have to say, is that it was 5 episodes on Crunchyroll, so it was longer than the average movie. The previous movie that was the same length was Lost, which is the 3rd movie. And
a lot of stuff went down there.
A lot of stuff went down, and a lot of stuff went down in this as well. Although there was a lot of notable absences, but once again, this only increases the question. So with that being said, is there any other positive that you could rinse out
the action
from this movie?
I think the action,
the major thing, I guess.
The action, because at the end of the day, Digimon is still an action show. They're still selling the toys. I think the action in this movie, especially when I know you don't like Odinaman, but
Creepy ass bitch.
you know when Odinaman one-shotted all the megas.
Yeah.
At first, it's a negative because like what the hell, man? Like all the megas are just getting annihilated. Like what the hell? This is taking the piss. But now I think with hindsight, I think it's a good thing that they did that because it shows how much of a threat Odinaman is. It was like Myotisman when Myotisman KO'd all the ultimates.
Yeah, it's like also Odinaman was at her most powerful, and remember we also spoke about how it made very little sense on the second battle with the military. Why on earth are the Digimon in the champion form? But I believe that they were trying to protect the military, conserve the power, and so there's a lot of things that were overlooked in that sense. And I think that the final thing I can say on my part regarding the action and the sequences is that
like
it looked good.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
I said it straight up. Art and animation is under the umbrella. It just looked fantastic.
Especially even her attacks. Like her as a character, like she's an ugly looking character, but her attacks, like the tentacle.
Yeah.
The tentacruel, that's it. Cruel in Pokemon. The attacks that she was doing where
It's the wings, wasn't it?
It was wings, yeah, it was wings that but it transformed into like these vines. There's evil vine whip vines, yeah, and it was just ripping all the Digimon in the champion form and Garurumon as well to pieces, bro. Overall, I would say the action is just very imaginative.
And the theme that they chose for the action sequence, especially when it pertained and was specific to Odinamon, was this very jarring theme, like organ.
Yeah.
It was very like, what is going on? It started off with that theme, and it's like, honestly, what on earth is going on? But I think that the positives are, even though these are far and few, there's more negatives, and you lot should check out the video. It should be out in a bit. It will be out in a bit. Should be out on the same day. So please make sure to look out for that video where we talk about the negatives and why it may not have resonated as much as it should have with us as Digifans. But the one positive I say is that there was no Digirap.
How do I follow that, bro? What am I supposed to say?
How do you follow that? Nah, because let's see. The main positive and the final positive I have to say is that it ended with them singing Butterfly in the character voices, and that was a very nice touch, a very, very nice touch.
Yeah.
And it was effective. It was nostalgic. At the same time, it was well executed, and we see Mako has gone back and traveled, and they're obviously crafting some sort of relationship between Tai and Mako.
Yeah.
So
shipping, mate.
And they also addressed the epilogue actually by giving us little hints, saying that, oh, Matt, maybe I might go into space.
Yeah.
Tai is going into teaching, inspired from Nishijima, and Sora's a bit more fashion.
She's kind of she's caring about her looks now.
Yeah, she's more fashion orientated, or she's starting to take some interest in fashion. With that being said, check out the other videos and check out all the other content on the channel. If it does tickle your fancy, do consider subscribing. It would be quite nice. You may now exit DImzy's domain. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care. Don't die.
Care for nothing.